Happy holidays, everyone. Here's the best thing about the holidays. We get the family together, we share delicious food, but the truth is, you don't need to wait for the holidays to have the most delicious roast beef that you've ever had. This is very, very simple. It is my absolute best roast filet mignon with a herb and mustard crust. You start off with a filet because it's very, very easy and uniform to roast. If yours has a bigger piece here or a thinner piece there, you can just trim them up so you've got a nice uniform piece of roast beef. Take it out of the fridge at least half an hour before you're going to cook it, right? That's called tempering the meat. It allows that to come up to room temperature and it's going to give you a much more even cook. What we do next is we season with salt and pepper. See how I'm seasoning the tray as well? I do that on purpose. I can just roll my beef like this and place it over there. So you're getting that salt and pepper on all corners of your fillet. The fillet is a very, very tender cut of meat. Here's a little bit of science around beef. The more work the muscle, these are all muscles, the cuts of beef, the more work that a muscle does, the tougher it becomes, the more flavor it develops. So if you're looking for something really nice and soft, really lovely and tender, the fillet is your friend. Roll it so it's beautifully seasoned on all sides. I'm going to drizzle just a tiny bit of oil. Now you can either drizzle that into the pan or I'll just go straight over the beef, just like that, because we don't want to use too much oil. Bring this on over into a nice hot pan. This is really important. Music to my ears. The temptation is to start messing with it, right? Resist. What's happening is that caramelization is starting to happen, right? So the more you touch it, the more you push it around, the less you get that wonderful contact. We want that beautiful contact. We want that golden brown. So what we're going to do is start off by searing, and then we just give small little turns until we go all the way around and it's beautiful and golden brown on all sides. And then we're going to throw it in the oven and roast it. Okay, another little turn. See how small my turns are? That's because I want to get it beautifully golden all the way around. What happens when you put a cold or room temperature piece of meat into a hot pan is it takes some of the heat out of the pan. So it's got to be a little bit too hot to start. Otherwise, you're going to quickly lose heat in your pan. You don't want that. If you need to give just another wee drizzle of oil, go right ahead. Now, if your fillet wants to roll around, and it will sometimes, all I want you to do is pop it into the corner of the pan, and then that'll give it a little bit more structure to sort of hold up nice and straight. Okay, turn your heat off. Now, you'll notice over here, I've got a big old bunch of rosemary. This is actually grown in my garden. I'm very, very proud of my rosemary. I'm lucky, I live in California. Everything grows very easily. Take your fillet, bring it over here, and stick it straight on to that bed of rosemary. I'll actually even go over, because that's going to give me beautiful flavor. I learnt this trick from my old mate Ben O'Donoghue. He actually does this with lamb, and he'll tie it all up and he'll do like a shoulder or a leg of lamb, and it's really yummy. I'm just going to gently cover it with that rosemary. We let it rest for just a moment. Pop your oven on. You want to roast it at about 350 degrees. I'm holding onto a probe thermometer. This actually tells me exactly what donenesses we're looking for. So medium rare is 130, medium is 140, medium well is 150, and well done is 160. Don't you ever cook your roast beef well done, my friends, because it will get dry and it won't be anywhere near as delicious. So we put the rosemary on top and underneath, pick it up, pop it in the oven. I'm gonna roast at 350 degrees until we get that internal temperature to be 130 degrees. Now, I'm going to teach you how to make a horseradish cream. Here's how we do it. We whisk some cream, but just semi-whip it. I've got this fun little contraption, and all I do is pour the cream in here, and to semi-whip that cream, I just go up and down for about 30 seconds. Let's have a look. I just did semi-whipped cream. I mean, go figure. So, to a bowl, we're going to add some heat in the way of this delicious horseradish. To add to that spice and depth of flavor, I also have some seeded mustard. So we toss that in. And then we just gently fold in our semi-whipped cream. A little bit of salt and pepper. So the reason I'm not stirring this with a whisk is because then I'll continue to whip the cream, right? I want this to be lovely and soft. Okay, our sauce is ready. Let's check on our beef. I'm gonna pull it and we're gonna check the temperature. So just drop it down. I'm gonna probe into the thickest part. You remember what I said we were looking for? Somewhere around 120, 130. We're at 125. Oh yeah, I think that's probably spot on. All right, so the next thing we do is take some fresh herbs. Got some parsley. So now make sure they're really nice and dry. Don't want the stems, so we break the stems away from the leaf. So we just chop through that tightly wound up bunch. One big leaf makes it in, that's all right with me. You're gonna take the parsley and stick it into a little tray like this. We get our chives. You might wanna split it into 2 bunches, and then that way you'll have a bit more control. Take your freshly cut chives, mix it in with the parsley. Next step, take that roast beef, it's cooled and it's had time to rest. And what we do here is we take some mustard, this is a Dijon mustard, and we spread that, paint it all the way over in a nice thick coat. Now a lot of people will think, oh, you've got to put that on before it roasts. You don't. This keeps a really nice warmth from the mustard in the end result. Make sure there's no big chunks of rosemary stuck to the bottom. Leave that tray, slide this one in and plop it on down. Finish painting your mustard over the fillet. Just like that. And then you're just going to continue to roll it around. Make sure you get those herbs absolutely everywhere. If you've missed a patch, just give it a little touch up. We then remove the whole fillet from the tray, stick it onto your carving board. I've got my serving tray ready. We've got that delicious horseradish cream that we semi-whipped. Before I slice it, I just want you to know that simple technique makes this restaurant quality. It turns this fillet of beef into the absolute best roast beef you're ever gonna serve. Time to carve. Gently hold it, and let's have a look inside. Oh, perfect and juicy. Now, I use my fingers because I feel like I have just that little bit more control than if I use a carving fork. If you want to use a fork or a pair of tongs, of course, you absolutely can. A little bit of fresh black pepper. And then that beautiful horseradish cream. I tell you what, to me, it is the best ever roast beef that you will serve, especially around the holidays. And thanks for watching. Now, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you want more because I've got plenty to give you. All you have to do is subscribe.